Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys checking today's video out and spending some of your time with me. We're going to be talking about Bluebird days, guys. Like you see right here, not a cloud in the sky. There's a lot of different things you can do with Bluebird days. Sometimes it helps the fishing, sometimes it hurts the fishing, but ultimately you just have to adjust your technique. So I want to give you guys sort of what has worked for me when you encounter Bluebird days like this, and hopefully it'll help you guys catch some good fish moving forward there. Also, guys, quick reminder, just want to let everybody know about the sale going on this month on my SolarBat series, signature series sunglasses from SolarBat. You can get them at 30% off this month. I'll put my SolarBat link in the description if you guys would like to order a pair through that link. And also they have 30% off on all the prescription lenses too. So if you have prescription lenses, they can set you up with my frames here with the prescription. So link in the description here. Really appreciate that. Okay guys, one of the things about bass you're going to find out is that weather changes every day. And as an angler, you have to adapt to different changing weather conditions, different levels of sunlight intensity, wind, water temperatures. And that's one of the reasons, if you guys watch my 3 channels, you hear me talking a lot about conditions. I mean, I'm a big believer, as if you want to improve your success as a bass angler, you've got to become a student of the weather. You got to really understand how bass behave and operate in a wide range of weather conditions. It's all about making adjustments during those. So specifically, I want to talk a little bit and sort of have a wide-ranging conversation on fishing on these Bluebird bright days like we have today, and some things you can do, to help your success with that. Now, a lot of it has to do with time of the year and water clarity in correlation with the bright Bluebird skies, because overall, one of the things that you're going to find out about bass, and it has been from my experience, in other words, is they usually bite better on nasty days. It doesn't have to be like windy and rainy, something like that, but they usually bite better if you have low light conditions, which usually is associated with cloud cover or rain, and some wind with it. It just activates the fish most of the time, unless the water is really muddy and really cold. That's the only time that wind and clouds and low light conditions don't help out. So that's sort of a given, but obviously it's not going to be cloudy and windy all the time. More than not, you're going to have some sun most of the days. But I want to talk about those days like today. You can see here, there's not a freaking cloud in the sky. There's not a cumulus cloud. It's not partly cloudy. It's super sunny, very bright out, high light intensity days. So here is sort of like some scenarios that'll help you out as far as what makes fishing tougher in these conditions, and some things you can do with it. Now, the toughest fishing conditions you're going to have on bright Bluebird days usually comes if you have a situation like this after a frontal system. Now, today, for example, here in Missouri, where we got this Bluebird sky, it just happens to be our weather patterns right now. It's warm out. It's not that we don't have a front coming in. It's warm, it's sunny. But if you have a situation where you have a front pass through and you've got a north wind with it, it's probably the toughest fishing conditions that you're going to have, because fish they don't feed as aggressively, they tuck down to the bottom harder, and it just makes for tough fishing conditions. So I sort of want to go over the best scenario for sunny days, what you can do, and some of the worst. Now, in my opinion, the best conditions, as far as the best time of year or the best situations and conditions for sunny day fishing, there's 2 different scenarios. The first one is in the springtime of the year, right around the spawn time, when they don't have to be spawning, but they can be close to it, or just after it, but sometime around the spawn, when there's a lot of bass in shallow water, and there's actually most of the population is shallow because they're focused on spawning. Situations like this, I like to have a bright sunny day, because I want to be able to visually look for bass swimming. Now, I'm not a big advocate of bed fishing. I don't encourage people catching bass off of nests. If I see a bass on a nest, I just like to observe them. I just like to watch them. It's fascinating to do so, and there's not a better day to do that on a bright sunny day with not much wind. But the way that I do like to catch them in that time of year when it's bright and sunny is by targeting cruising bass, because once that water temperature is between like 57 to 70 degrees in the springtime of the year, there's a lot of bass that are just cruising the bank. They're not spawning. They could be on their way, coming or going or whatever, or looking for food. But there's a lot of bass that you can visually see cruising the bank. And I love a really bright sunny day under these conditions because it makes you see the fish better, and I can cast to them and lead them with like a wacky rig or a shaky head or something like that and catch them. Second situation it works really good in is if you have dirty water, shallow cover. So if I'm fishing a lake that has like water visibility of less than a foot, I want to have a bright sunny day because it throws shade off on that particular object, and the fish are more conducive to biting on a bright sunny day in that dirtier water. So that's another scenario. A couple other situations where you want a bright sunny day is anytime you're fishing some type of structure that has an overhead canopy on that's throwing off shade. So my favorite time to fish like boat docks is on a bright sunny day, because a bright sunny day will really isolate those bass in the shade around the docks, and you can target them and you can pinpoint them better, by the shade. And it's the same with any shallow cover. It could be a overhanging tree in the water, it could be a lay down tree. Anywhere where there's shade off the water that is created by a bluebird sky is a really good way to catch them. Now, some of the situations out there and another one would be topwater, guys. Sometimes, especially if you're fishing clear water with smallmouth, a bright sunny day is a really good situation to catch them on topwater because they can see it really good. Now, the situations where you do not want a bright sunny day, where it makes it a little bit tougher, is generally most of the year besides what I just talked about there. Because most of the time when you have a bright sunny day, if you have cover absent, it doesn't matter what type of cover in there, but if there's not much cover, if the cover is absent and you have a bright sunny day where there's no shade to be created, that just generally makes fishing tougher. And fish usually get on the bottom more. They don't chase lures as much. They tend to go a little bit deeper. They may suspend. It's just sort of part of the situation. And one thing that I have found out about bass biting on periods of the week or year that have bright sunny days is they don't feed as much at all or bite as well during the daytime, but they do bite pretty good at night. So that's one good thing. If you're in a weather pattern that's got bright sun out, try to maybe target them at night. If you can get out there, it's a good way to catch them. Overall, though, it's just adjusting your technique. One of the things that I can tell you about sunny day bass fishing is most of the time they don't like to chase. With the exception of putting like a crankbait next to a lay down log in dirty water if there's some shade on it, or again like throwing a topwater for smallmouth out over those flats. Smallmouth do not react the same. One of the things that I will tell you about it is that smallmouth bite just as good, maybe even better in a bright sunny condition than they do on a cloudy day, but not largemouth and spotted bass. They definitely are low light type fish. So anyway, guys, that's just a broad spectrum, some things you can, remember about fishing during the sunlight. Probably, bright sunny days, probably my favorite lures for bright sunny days are like jigs, shaky heads, something you can fish on the bottom. Seems like I catch a lot more fish like that. So anyway, I hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.